Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Henry, and you are watching on the Royal Hive, the channel where we celebrate the births and lives of historic royal figures from around the world and across time. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing for more. I am starting a new playlist called Celebrated Royal Births, where I will feature the life or lives of prominent historic royal figures. In this video, we will do a deep dive into the relationship of Mary, Queen of Scots and her second husband, Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. I have chosen to do this pair as they both celebrated their birthdays last week, one day apart. The second reason I chose this couple is due to the events leading to the end of their marriage and their separate lives. Let's continue to the video. Mary, Queen of Scots was born on December 8, 1542, to parents King James V and his second French wife, Mary of Guise. She was the third child of her parents, her two elder brothers having died before she was born. She became Queen of Scotland 6 days after her birth, her father having died on December 14, 1542. Scotland was then governed by a regency under the control of her mother. She was sent to France to marry the heir to the French throne, becoming Queen of France on July 10, 1559. Her tenure as Queen of France lasted 17 months, ending on December 5, 1560. She then decided to return to Scotland to govern her country of origin in her own right. Mary was a descendant of Henry VII through her paternal grandmother, Margaret Tudor. She was therefore the nearest relation by blood to Queen Elizabeth I of England but needed the support of the Queen to name as heir to the English throne. Because of this support, Mary allowed Elizabeth to have a major say in who her second husband was to be. Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley's, birth date is unknown, but is given as the 7th of December. He was the eldest son of Matthew Stuart, 4th Earl of Lennox and Lady Margaret Douglas. He was a descendant of Henry VII though his maternal grandmother, Margaret Tudor, making him and his future wife half first cousins. They also share descent from James II of Scotland, and both having claims to the English throne. Mary married Henry on February 3, 1565 without the permission of Queen Elizabeth I. This union started with love, Mary falling in love with Henry while nursing him from an illness. The union produced one son, James VI and I, but turned sour soon after their hasty wedding, Mary finding out how vain, arrogant and unreliable he could be. Henry insisted on being given the crown matrimonial, making him equal to Mary, but never took active part on government, at times holding off on signing state documents due to indolence. The breaking point in their marriage came on the night of March 9, 1566 when Henry took part with other conspirators in the murder of David Rizzio, her private secretary and favorite. This murder took place in her presence, while she was 6 months pregnant with a weapon pointed at her belly by Patrick Bellenden, one of the conspirators. Mary managed to escape the captivity she was in with the help of Henry, the conspirators fleeing once she was free. Mary kept Henry close to hand until after the birth of their son, seeking ways to divorce him after the birth of James that would not jeopardize his claim to the Scottish throne. During this time, she formed a close bond with James Hepburn, 4th Earl of Bothwell. James became a favorite of Mary and was known to be a violent man. Henry died on February 10, 1567 at the age of 20. His death was considered to be murder, as the house he was living in at Kirk-o-Field, was blown to pieces but his body, and that of his man-servant, was found strangled and half-clothed outside. Suspicion immediately fell on Mary and James Hepburn, who married 3 months after Henry's death. The people of Scotland were not amused with their sovereign when she married her second husband's alleged murderer and rose up to depose her. Mary and James fought to maintain their throne, but lost, with Mary being held in captivity and forced to abdicate, and James being held in captivity in Denmark. Mary eventually managed to escape captivity and fled to England, in the hopes that Elizabeth I would restore her to her throne. This put Elizabeth in a quandary as Catholic Mary had previously laid claim to the Protestant Elizabeth's throne. Elizabeth's counselors advised to keep Mary under lock and key, which started Mary's 19-year English captivity. During her captivity, Mary attempted various means to be set free, some through diplomacy and others through more nefarious means. She was eventually tried for treason against Queen Elizabeth I and found guilty of plotting the death of the Queen. Elizabeth signed Mary's warrant of execution with a heavy heart, not wanting to put her cousin to death. Mary was eventually beheaded on February 8, 1587 at the age of 44, being buried at Peterborough Cathedral. So ends the story of Mary, Queen of Scots, and her second husband, Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. Their descendants are currently sitting on the British throne. I hope you enjoyed the content and my telling of it, and, if you did, like and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.